Right, here we are again. You might be wondering why I'm wearing my high visibility vest, Visi vest. That's because, let me just show you the back. This I used to wear at Entertainment UK. Shameless plugging on it. If you see, it's got my name, and then it's got my YouTube website. And then here it's got a quote from one of my poems. I am a soldier in the war of love. What was it? Where casualties shall surely fall. And then my blog website. So I used to wear this around the warehouse until old Bonza Quiggers, who called me once Fivehead. That's not a forehead, that's a fivehead. Which someone on Live Jasmine did as well. Oh, the times. Yeah, so I thought I'd detail a little bit more because there was other things I was thinking about, so I thought I'd just go through them a bit more. One thing I forgot to actually mention is I am going to use this experience, I don't think I told you about this, administration, to make a story. One of my dramatic verse things. Hopefully I'll do it quickly or I'll forget, because I know I'm still writing The Void and Charrington's. Anyway, eventually it will come on YouTube as well. With this administration, what I'm going to do is it's going to be about a planet, the planet Earth, which has come under administration, and there'll probably be another planet called Bankus or something, which is who will not give them any money basically, and the administration will come in, and first it will get rid of the non-Earth population. Now I don't know how I'm going to do that, whether that's going, I suspect, because in terms of EUK it was agency that went first. And so in the population Earth, what I might do is that might be, I don't know who that's, low skilled people I guess, or you know, whatever they believe is low skilled. So I'm not really sure how that's going to equate in the equation, but they will be like rounded up and they will be hounded out, probably exterminated. Then there'll be the rest of the population who will not know what's going on, and basically at the end they will decide that the planet is no longer solvent and will have to be broken up, and eventually I suspect it'll be blown up. And this is obviously parodying the idea of administration. So that's in the process of being written sometime. I hope it's not going to be a very long one, because I won't finish it like The Void. Yeah, because I was telling you the Dead City, Nightmare Collection, some of Jacob Jakes, some of The Void were written at work at the PC when I was on Sort 3 and near SCADA during my breaks or while waiting for work. Multi-skilling, you see. And what other bits were actually mentioned at work? I remember I told you about Dead City, and I remember I told you that the warehouse was used in that. Oriel Ward is in Charrington's. Jacob Jakes goes to work as an agency worker. That is in the same building, and that was brought on by, actually that scene, if you remember rightly, in Jacob Jakes, he actually throws a manager into an agency manager inside the crusher and crushes him up. One of my friends, Mark, worked on the crusher. That's where the crusher element came in, and I believe that at that time there was something that happened with some agency person, or they were being treated very badly, so that came in the story and came to represent that, and Jacob Jakes is used to go against the agency. Yeah, when they used to make them work really long hours, 12 hours and stuff. It's interesting to see there's a story in the Metro about how Amazon workers are being made to work. Well, it wasn't too dissimilar at EUK last year during peak. But it looks like no one's going to do anything about that. That was actually one of the sad things when we came in to find out we were in administration, which actually we found out on the news. Actually, we found a lot more on the news, even though Doyle told us that they would keep us informed. We had one meeting with them at the beginning, and then 2 weeks later we were told we were redundant. Everything else we heard was on the BBC News. So they were a better source. actually we did make a joke that, because originally the meeting was supposed to be at 10 and then it changed to 10:30, and we made a joke that, oh, they're going to inform the BBC first before they come and tell us. Anyway, so yeah, other memories. Wait a minute, was there any other stories that you mentioned? I remember there was with Jamie, there was a thing we mentioned about quality, because I used to work in quality before they decided to make us apply for our own jobs, and then didn't give most of us our jobs. And that's when I left quality, of a year doing that job unpaid as a quality worker. I know there were some pounds between me and him to do a quality, but what else was there? I don't remember. Maybe I suspect other things. I know a lot of people will have inspired poems who I used to see there, or maybe some of the women that were there probably inspired some poems. I'm pretty sure about that. There's a fair few of them that are even on here, I suspect. Yeah. Now, what else was there? I was trying to remember some time. I was remembering them yesterday, actually, about when I first started at EUK. How when I first came, and it was really, actually it was a bit like full circle how it was when administration took place. It was completely empty, and then we were doing testing. I remember doing testing, and oh, that was so boring. We just stood there for days just making boxes, and this equipment, we thought it would never work because it was big equipment, these sorters, huge, 3 of them there were. And they got like trays that go around, and they drop off the items, and there's some inducts which induct them onto the trays. And oh my goodness, that was boring. It was funny, I had lots of thoughts yesterday about all these different thoughts about times I was there, and now I can't remember a bloody thing. Oh dear. Then where was I next? I was on sorters then, wasn't I? Yeah, I liked working on sorters. That was my favourite place, especially the inducts. And I remember when while I was working on the inducts, we got the highest, during peak, the highest amount ever sorted by a shift. It was AM shift. Was that 2001? Or I think it was 2001, I don't remember. And that was never beaten. Never. I know last year they made some claims about some figures that they did, but I checked up on those figures, and despite managers claiming that those figures were true, they were not, because I actually checked the raw data and it conflicted with what they actually printed on a piece of paper. I think they were just trying to impress people, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that 2001 was it was always a challenge, because we always wanted to do as much as possible during peak, and that was my favourite period, actually, when it was really, really busy and everyone would be running about and we'd be trying to get as much out as possible. I really liked peak. So it's a bit of a shame that of all the times that we could have gone under, it was during peak. Some people suggested if we'd gone out in July, something like that, we probably wouldn't have been too much trouble, because supplies would have stayed, because it's not such a busy period, it's not so critical. So it's a shame that it had to happen in December. So what other times were there? Oh, I know there was another nickname I forgot to tell you, wasn't there? We used to call Joe Cold Chestnut, which was a very long way it came about. Me and Mark, I think it was Mark actually mostly, came up with the idea, because his name, I don't want to give his surname, but it was to do with a conqueror. Gives it away, doesn't it? And a conqueror, so conqueror, chestnut. And then for some reason Chestnut is similar to Carl Chessman, who was he a serial killer or something, or he was gas, I don't remember. And so then it became Carl Chestnut. And that stuck for a long time. We call him Carl Chestnut. And what other ones were there? Oh, plenty. A lot of gags, a lot of funny times there. especially with the engineers, engine chairs, and